Alright guys, in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to get consistent whitetail respawns in the new update. Now, as you guys know, they made a bunch of tent changes and made the respawn slower, but I've actually done a little bit of testing on it after I've updated the game, and I don't think it's as bad as what everyone thought. Now, I know some people have been having some issues with the respawns, and that's actually what I'm here for. Well, anyways, before we get into it, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications for more videos. And let's roll right into it. Okay, so first off, whenever you're hunting for these whitetail now. Hold on, I cannot think with these ducks. Where are the ducks at? Okay. Need to get these ducks out of here. So you probably noticed that all of the zones basically are made to where if you are any closer than like 200 meters, they spook away whenever you fast travel to the tent. Well, here's the thing. Obviously, not everyone has zones that are easily accessible, but there is a solution to that if you're willing to pay a small price. Okay, so the first thing I want to say is make sure that your tents are backed up to at least 200 meters in all your zones. And if you have a zone that is in a very difficult spot, like, say, this zone right here, where it's, like, surrounded by brush the whole way around it, just keep the tent where it's at. Now let's go ahead and shoot this guy right here. Get him down real quick. And, yeah, so I want to say, whenever you're going through and claiming your animals, make sure you take your time. Don't go through with the four-wheeler and use double tents to fast travel straight to your kills. If you do that, you're not going to be getting your respawns because all of the animals are on a timer now. So taking this time just to run up and claim your animals and then move over to the next zone and do the same thing increases the amount of time it takes to go through your rotation, but it also makes sure that you get your respawns. Alright, let's see what this wonky whitetail scores. 226.99. It's not a bad one. But, yeah, we're going to go ahead and fast travel over to one of my difficult zones, and I'm just going to show you what I do real quick. Obviously, they're going to be spreading basically as soon as I spawn in, but what I do is take out my 300, and I look for the biggest one, and I just start blasting. Of course, you actually have to hit your shots. There we go. Got him that time. Now, of course, once in a while, you're going to get a diamond that spawns in a zone like this, and whenever you see a diamond, if you want to take your time and actually shoot it right, you know, just fast travel like up here or somewhere else and make your way down here and hunt it the right way, or just blast it to 300. I mean, if you're under Great One grind and you've already shot a bunch of diamond whitetail, what's the point? And you know, if you don't need any more of them, what's the point in shooting it correctly? You know what I mean? So that's just what I've been doing. If I see a diamond that I really just don't feel like messing around with, if it's in a bad spot, I just blast it to 300 now. I've shot so many diamond whitetail, it's not even funny. So that is basically my solution for these zones that are in super brushy areas. Just fast travel to it and start blasting while they're running. And usually whenever they run, if you don't shoot right away, they'll actually slow down within a few seconds. So another thing that'll happen pretty common is your time for your need zone is actually going to run out fairly fast. Like, it's the same speed, but since your rotation is taking longer, you'll have to reset the time more often, which in turn that actually gives the animals more time to respawn. Now, changing the time does not give the animals time, any respawns, but it does get them to their need zones. As you can see here, we actually have 1, 2, 3 different shooters in this need zone, and we're gonna try to get at least 2 of them. I try not to shoot more than one or two bucks from each zone, just because it makes it a little bit easier. If you have to do another run, then there will still be something there to shoot. Let's go ahead and try to take out the 2 largest ones here. That guy will go down, so I'll take it. But yeah, I would say that, for one, I was wrong, because going by the patch notes and the community feedback, it seemed like it was going to be so much worse than it really was. And I want to apologize for that. But yeah, this is basically going to be your solution if you're having any issues with whitetail. And Of course, another thing that you should take in for account is if you're herd managing, you're gonna have even less respawn. So basically, be harder to hunt as you herd manage your map down. However, as long as you take your time and actually run through and collect all of your animals, even the ones that you flesh wound, just go run and collect them. It's like right here, I'm actually running up here instead of using the four-wheeler because I want the ones that I've already shot previously to respawn on their own. That guy was a 252 diamond potential and I didn't even realize, but oh well. I mean, I knew he wasn't going to be diamond anyway because that tip-to-tip spread is just way too narrow, but... So I actually have a need zone at this tiny little pond here, and I tell you what, this is the most difficult zone on my entire map so far. And I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how I hunt it. Now luckily this is up on a little bit of a slope, otherwise this would be extremely difficult. But about halfway down here I was able to find a little opening, and I placed a blind here. Now as you can see, the wind is blowing right towards the pond but at an angle, so it's really blowing the wind in this direction. So if I position myself to be left of where the pond is, my wind is going to go this way, and it won't spook the deer that are over here. So I'm going to run to the left, and I'm going to run down here, and I'm only 150 yards away from where the deer are. So this is why it's important to also use markers whenever you're hunting your need zones. It pretty much just reminds you when to slow down, because when you get to around 150, you got to be really careful. Also, I'm meaning 150 yards. Then once I get into where I can start actually seeing the deer, I go ahead and crouch and just crouch walk all the way up to the blind. Okay, so there's our first whitetail and he is calm. Just now arriving to the need zone. And there should be 3 more. So okay, so there's the doe. Like I said, this zone is very difficult. I normally have 4 in this need zone, and it looks like I have 3. But there's probably one clear back here in the bushes I just can't even see. But yeah, this is basically the best way to hunt a zone like this, is to set up a tent, 200 yards away or more if you have to, and then pretty much creep your way off the hill towards them. Now, let's go hunt another zone where you pretty much have to shoot right away, because it's looking like I don't have a respawn here yet, and that is normal, because sometimes they just haven't spawned in yet. Okay, so this little pond right here is an example of one that I pretty much have to shoot right away. But I want to show you what the deer do after they start running. Okay, there's our whitetail. Now watch. See how they slow down? That is still very easy to get a shot in there. Now, I actually don't have my respawns here right now, but next run I should have some here. And what you do whenever you get to a zone that doesn't have respawns, just go to the next zone in your rotation, because eventually you will get a respawn in that zone unless it's shot down. Now, I just moved on to the next zone from here because I didn't see any respawns. So we're going to go ahead and take this one out and go claim this one. And just the time for me running to this animal is actually going to help spawn animals in. Alrighty, here's this one, 242.56. Now, I am doing some pretty heavy herd management, so that is why I'm not getting quite as many respawns. But if you're shooting 2 bucks per zone, guarantee you your spawns are actually going to be much more reliable. So this zone that I'm fast traveling to right now is also another tough need zone. And where did they spawn at? It looks like they were actually up on the hill and they didn't get to the zone yet. So that's actually another thing that you want to watch out for. Sometimes when you fast travel to the zone, they're not actually in the zone yet, but they're close enough to scare. So that's just a gamble. You can't really do anything about that, and that's something that's kind of unfortunate. Now, once you get to the end of your run, you'll still want a main menu. Although they said main menuing doesn't force your respawns in anymore, it does send all the animals into a calm state, and will basically get them all back to your need zones. For example, I just main menued, and I'm going to go ahead and change the time real quick. And I'm going to go ahead and run down here and check this need zone. So any of the deer that you shot that did respawn will be at their need zones. So let's just see what we got here this time. Okay, so they're all behind the brush there. See how they slowed down? Now we just got to spot one that's actually a shooter. There we go. There's one. So obviously the update wasn't ideal, But it's still possible to hunt animals like whitetail. And actually, whitetail have the worst respawns out of pretty much any other animal in the game. So if you can make this work for whitetail, you should be able to make it work for just about anything. Now tar, that's something else. I mean, their zones are absolutely horrendous, so I'm not even going to attempt that. But yeah, so like here's this guy. They're not very hard to shoot when they're running, guys. If they're not even at a full sprint, you just aim, like say at this speed, you want to aim right where my cursor is. About one shoulder length ahead of where the bullet is going to hit. I guess I was actually aiming more like right here when I shot, but that's how it goes. Well, anyways, I hope this video helped you guys get more consistent respawns for whitetail. And obviously, if you hunt a map like Revontuli or New England where there's more whitetail, you should actually get more respawns. So, anyways, this is Blitz Hunt signing out.